Anime time. Yo, what is up, Crockxen clan members, anime fans, and others who will stump on this video? I'm SoresanCrockxen here to talk to you guys about the disappearance of Nagato Yuki-chan. So, I don't remember, I actually legit do not remember if I reviewed Haruhi Suzumiya. I have a feeling I did. I have a really strong feeling I did, but I'm not quite sure. But if I did, it's going to be in the end card, right? It's going to show you so you guys can click and watch that and all that stuff. So this is basically the spin-off show from Haruhi Suzumiya. I still do not know if this is supposed to be an alternate dimension of the original plotline, because that one was like crazy and convoluted, and there's like time travel and like space dimensions and like warping worlds and all that stuff. I don't know if this is supposed to be like an alternate timeline. But if it is, I freaking loved it. I mean, even if it isn't, I loved this freaking show. I loved Haruhi Suzumiya. Like, it was really like one of those shows to where normally I would not be like really inclined to like them, because I mean, well, it was very high in sci-fi, but it was so like grounded in reality that like didn't even bother me as I was watching the show, which really like made me like fall in love with that show. This one actually went like the complete opposite way. It's like it went even more down to earth, while like there's still like hints of sci-fi stuff, but it's not really like actually happening. So I don't know. I personally like, I don't know if it's really hard for me to say this. I don't know if I prefer this one over the first one. It's really hard for me to pick between the two. I guess the difference might be the ending of this one, but we're gonna get to that in the spoiler section. So, first of all, let me just say, I watched this stuff in English, because I actually watched Suzumiya in English, and I actually kind of prefer it over the Japanese version. So this one, I did the same thing. I watched the English dub, because apparently they use the same voice actors. I'm like, let's go for it, let's go. If they had changed the voice actors, I probably would watch the sub. Because they didn't, I was like, let's go. Alright, so anyways, so the premise of this show, right, of this season, of this series, is the fact that we have Nagato, who in the first series, she was my favorite character. I'm being legit serious. Nagato was my favorite character of Suzumiya. And I really love her in this one too. She's now the main character. She's the main character of the series, and so the library club that was non-existent in the other series is now an actual full-fledged club in this one. And Suzumiya, like Haruhi's she's not part of the school. She's actually in the other school where she was supposed to be in the last one. And so is we'll get to the character section. But the only characters in the school are Nagato, Kion, and Asahina, which in the other show was the time traveler. So it's basically, it's that, and then so they have to they actually brought characters from the old show. Like I said, I'm going to talk a lot about the characters because I love what they did with some of the ones that from the old series. Trying to build the club stuff, and Nagato kind of having the struggles of expressing her love for Kyon because she actually falls in love with him, and the cute moments between the two, and just that whole mentality of trying to get her to confess her feelings for him, and then him maybe returning the favor and all that stuff. Some crazy shit, and then you got some wild stuff happening, and then Haruhi shows up, and then just craziness ensues. They have a lot of field trips. They have a lot of fun. And it's just a really down-to-earth show. Alright, so animation and music, right? This is where we get serious up in this bitch, okay? So while I did not like the opening, I love the subtlety of the soundtrack. The thing about these types of shows, right? These close to slice of life shows that don't have a lot of crazy shit going on in your face and all that stuff, right? The thing about those type of shows is the fact that they really need to have solid music for the scenes to work, because they don't have the advantage of just throwing random crap in your face and so much you can't process. But it's sometimes just fun, right? They can't do that because they're actually really down to earth and more realistic. So they really need to be very specific when it comes to music, because it has to fit tone of the scenes, and then it has to flow well in the episode. Like they can't just throw a random song in here that doesn't work. You know, there has to be a flow. So that just works here. Like it really, like it was the same thing in Haruhi, except for the fact that they did have those sci-fi elements. So sometimes you did have those sci-fi type of stuff, which kind of messed up a little bit. But because of the tone of the show, I understood why it worked there. I'm glad that none of that is in here though, because the show does not lend itself to that type of sound. The animation is beautiful. There is that problem. I just have that issue with most animes that do that in general. I don't like chibi art style, and there are those scenes where they try to do that chibi style to make a scene kind of funny and hilarious without like somebody's hitting somebody, but they don't want you to actually see somebody hitting somebody, so they do it chibi art style so that it doesn't look bad and it just looks funny and you just laugh. I'm the type of person that doesn't like chibi ever. I just don't like the art style. And I guess Haruhi did the same thing too, so it's not like it's an exclusive thing to this. So like I don't know which one of the two I prefer. It's really hard for me to pick between two. But it does have that issue. If you like chibi, well then it's fine. But if you don't, I'm just a warning. They do chibi a lot. When it's regular though, it's fine. I love the characters look amazing. They looked great back then. There's also a small little design detail, but I'm gonna do that in the spoiler section because it's actually a spoiler. But I thought it was cute and it was amazing, and the fact that I noticed it made it even better. But yeah, overall visuals besides the chibi stuff, but that's a personal thing. Pretty solid. The music was fantastic. I love the way they were able to like just smooth it out to where it actually fit throughout the episode. Alright, so for the character section, I'm actually going to give you guys like a quick like rundown of 3 characters, and then we're going to talk about the main ones that I'm going to talk about. So, Asahina, Koizumi, and Tsuruya. So Tsuruya is pretty much the same character she was in the first series. Obnoxious, rich, funny, just, jokes everywhere, messes with Asahina all the time. Asahina is still as shy as always, still always nervous about everything, but then she slowly gets comfortable over time. She's not a time traveler anymore, so she doesn't have any like crazy quirks or anything like that. But she's mainly just there as like she's kind of there to push Nagato a little bit. That's like her only difference here. And then Koizumi, I actually hate Koizumi in this series. Like I was okay with him in the first one, but this time he's literally just a doormat. Like he does not do any, like he is so like blind over Haruhi, it's ridiculous. This man needs to like chill the fuck out, go outside and take a chill pill or whatever, because this man literally just did whatever she said, no matter what. And there was also moments with him and Kion, like where he was doing things and I questioned him, and it was like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Like he was just, I don't know what the hell they were thinking when they made him in this series. I did not like him. I'll just say that right now. I personally did not like him. So let's talk about the main 4. So starting us off is Asakura, who this is gonna be a short spoiler for like the first series, even though that happened like episode 3 or 4 of the first one. Asakura actually dies in the first series because she works with Nagato, right, and they're trying to keep Haruhi happy and all this other stuff. And then when Haruhi makes a comment about somebody disappearing, she actually tries to kill Kion, and so Nagato basically like killed her. So like she actually flat out dies in the first series. And like, but I loved what they did with her. Like they like she's still Nagato's friend because she was technically, friends with her in the first series. I love that they still kept that, but like took it a step further, where she's like kind of like a mother figure for Nagato because her parents are never there. So like she's always there. She's always trying to help Nagato. She's always trying to push her to be better, to stand up for herself, to confess her freaking love for Kion. Like she's just always there, like having her friends back. There are some nice moments with her because in certain aspects where she feels like she's pushing too hard, and like she starts saying certain things. She actually gets a little jealous when Kion and Nagato start like doing stuff together, like they're hanging out more and all this other stuff. There are also these funny moments where she really wants Nagato and them to do something, and like she comes in and she's like, whoa, and she like runs away. But like she's like super defensive. There's actually an episode. I mean, it's not like a super heavy spoiler episode or whatever. But there's this Valentine's Day episode, and like Nagato made some chocolates for Kyon, and then Haruhi actually gives him like chocolate, but it's one of those like, oh, the friendship chocolates don't mean anything, and like she runs away, like Nagato runs away from the club room, and Asakura gets pissed at Haruhi, like straight up just wants to murder her, and then she starts crying because she feels like she's failed, and then like because she's trying to help Nagato. It like I love her so much this time because I honestly I couldn't get to know her in the first series because she's died so early, and like all I knew her was she was a crazy android chick who I don't know. I never really cared too much about her in the first series, and then she died so soon, so I didn't like really get to know her. But in this one, like they really fleshed her out. Like they really like had her moments. She had her mini arcs. I mean, obviously, the show this short, like they're not actual arcs, but they're like character development episodes and stuff like that. Like they really nailed her so much, and I love them for doing that because I really liked her. I really liked her in the series. From her ups to her downs to her quirks to just all around, she was just amazing. I loved what they did with her. Now, following up, I'm going to talk about Haruhi real quick. She is almost the exact same as she was in the first series. Like, I'm being flat out serious. She's as crazy, as wacky, as intense, as all over your face. Oh my god, I still love her. Like, I didn't hate her in the first series, and I don't hate her here. I love that she has this spunk to her. Like, she's just so outgoing and always trying to explore the universe, trying to find out, learn new things. Because if it can't be proven fake, it can be true. I love that mentality. She was just, I don't know what it is about her. She just has this aura. I don't think you can hate her. I mean, she's honestly annoying to the point where if she was real, I would not hang out with her. But in terms of watching her, I know that probably sounded awful, but in terms of watching her, she's amazing. I just love the way she is, the way she acts, the way she's always like trying to be a leader. She's like she doesn't take no for an answer. She wants to get things done. She gets things done. She's a genius. She's always planning things ahead of time. She prepares things ahead of time. When she wants an adventure, she gets an adventure. It's always a fun adventure because she's just so crazy and wacky. It just drives people crazy. And I loved what they did. They also tried to do a little hit in there when I caught it, and obviously they kind of hint at it really hard in later episodes, and I was like, oh, I see what you're trying to do there, trying to make her feel more personal, like she's more normal, now down to earth. You can't do that with this character. I mean, you can try, and it kind of it really worked, when she had those moments, but then she like brings back up and gets all her spunky self, so like it's kind of one of those things where like, I know what you're trying to do there, but like you're not really trying too hard because you always go back to the same thing, and I get like, from the story's perspective, it works for them to do it that way, to not have her go that other route, because then it really would clash with like Nagato and all that stuff. But it's nice to see the other side of her, because we didn't really get to see much of that in the first series, except for like the end of it, from what I recall. Then we're gonna talk about Kyon, who he's kind of the same way he used to be in the first series, but it's, you just gotta switch the roles to where now it's not Haruhi, it's Nagato. That's like the main character, and now he doesn't have to worry about so much craziness with the main character, because all the craziness he has to do with is because of Haruhi when she shows up. But for the most part, when it's just him and Nagato, like it's more normal because she's always like really quiet and shy, but she talks to him every once in a while when she gets more comfortable. Like there's more interaction, like one-on-one interaction between the two. When they actually are talking and having stuff happen. For the most part, like with Haruhi and Kyon in the first series. Well, she was driving him nuts, right? And of course, he actually falls in love with her in the first series, if I recall that correctly. But that's because of her spunk. But still, like she always drove him crazy. In this one, it's more of like, you're now dealing with somebody who's like not the same way. She's more down to earth. She's more chill. She's more relaxed. Which I actually like that dynamic a little bit more, because then you're able to have actual conversation. Like, didn't work very well. And then obviously we got Nagato herself, who's actually okay, how do I explain this? Because she's kind of the same way as she used to be in the first series, except she's not, because in the first series, she's emotionless as fuck because she's a robot. She's an android. She's not like an actual person. In this one, she's an actual person, but she's still like quiet and shy. But this time, it's because she's shy, not because she doesn't fucking care. Which I actually loved her no fucks give attitude in the first series. Let me just say that right freaking now. I loved her a lot in this one because you're able to do a lot more when you don't have, like, when you do have emotions, but they're kind of like, because you know they always try to do those tsundere type characters, and I actually don't mind tsundere or like yandere or any of those, but like when it's like a shy girl, I sometimes get one of those things. Except for Hinata, I don't know why I never really cared much for Hinata. Maybe that's just Naruto, the Kishimoto's fault that I don't give a shit about half the characters. But anyways, that's besides the point. I tend to, it's fine. I love the way, the fact that they made her this way really works because then you can build other characters around that aspect. Like, like I said, Asakura really shown because of, Nagato's shyness and all that stuff. And then the fact that because she is shy, the slow progress of, getting herself comfortable talking to Kyon, it made her better. Because if she had been okay with it from the get-go, you wouldn't be able to get that character development, that kind of progress of trying to, like, truly feel comfortable with oneself. So I'm really glad they went that route because then they're able to flesh out both characters at pretty much the same time because Kyon has to get used to, her being the way she is, and then she has to get used to being comfortable around him, and then yes, as you have Asakura stuff with trying to get them together, but then also freak out because they are together, and she's like nervous, and it makes for a fun dynamic. Even Haruhi's crazy shenanigans, it really works because it really pushes Nagato to kind of like, hey, maybe I should start trying to do something because this girl, even though he doesn't actually fall in love with Haruhi in this one, it's still kind of like a threat type of thing. So like Nagato, it's kind of one of those things where Nagato has to get that push to like really try to get with him. So it's pretty crazy. It's pretty amazing. I loved it so much. All these characters were great. Like, except for no, Koizumi could go die on fire straight up. I don't know why. I just do not like him at all in this one. At all. He literally could just die on fire. Alright, spoiler section. You know how it goes. So, near the end of the series, it is amazing. Okay, so this is what we got going on. Kyon and Nagato are much closer together right now. They're pretty, they're more comfortable on each other. It's actually a funny episode. I freaking love that scene in particular because this is what happened. Nagato's over there playing her game, and then Kyon actually teases her by grabbing it, and he's so much taller than her. Starts teasing her, oh, you can't grab, and all this stuff. And then she gets mad, and then it's kind of like he's comforting her, and he apologizes and all this stuff because I don't remember if they almost fall or something. The point is, it's lunchtime, and Asakura like walks in the door. And then she's like, okay, I'm just going to walk away now. And she closes the door and leaves. And then like, oh my gosh, they didn't even freak out about it. She's like, oh, this is going to be a huge misunderstanding. We're going to have to explain later. And then they're going to go, sit down to eat. But since Asakura is the one that makes Nagato's food, Nagato doesn't have food. She doesn't have lunch. So Kyon says that they should share. But then she gets nervous because then we have to share chopsticks and all that stuff. And then she starts talking about how he should feed her. And he's like, wait a minute, is that even more embarrassing? And then, I don't know. The point is, he actually feeds her. And like the moment she takes her first bite, Asakura walks in again. She's like, oh, I was just kidding. I'm not gonna leave. This is all probably just a misunderstanding. You guys wouldn't be doing that. Blah blah blah. And then she sees her being fed, and she's like, okay, never mind. Maybe I should leave. It was the funniest thing in the world. Oh my gosh, like I said, the interactions with these characters is just so freaking amazing. So they get actually more comfortable with each other, right? And, they start, actually, like, always hanging out together, and then we have those moments where Asakura feels jealous and feels like she's gonna lose Nagato. But because of Haruhi, she actually kind of starts slowly getting rid of that idea. And then the worst thing happens, right? So they're really close together. At this point, hell, it wouldn't be that hard for either one of them to confess to each other. Because they're actually kind of falling in love with each other. Oh, well, Kyon is falling in love with her. And, like, Nagato's, like, full on, like, super comfortable now. So at any moment, they could do that, right? And then she gets hit by a car. So she loses, her psyche actually goes into a coma, right? Like, she goes into shock. and then she's replaced by what kind of is the Nagato from the first series. Like, it's literally the same personality, same everything. Which, you know, it was kind of one of those things where I was happy because I love that character. I love that Nagato. But at the same time, it was one of those things where, like, we were going... I mean, I loved how they handled it. Don't get me wrong. But it's one of those things where it was like a double-edged sword. Because I loved the Nagato here. And I loved the Nagato from over there. But right now, I'm dealing with this Nagato, not that one. Like, but I loved what... I'll explain what happened. But, like, that kind of bugged me a little bit when they first showed it off. But then I was okay with it. Her glasses broke. And this is why I said earlier. They actually did a little detail. Nagato's glasses in this one are rounded for her. But when she does her alter ego, she actually changes her glasses to the ones she had in the first series. Which is a nice throwback. And then she has the same attitude. Emotionless. She's basically the robot again. But while not being an actual android. So from then on, it turns into a thing where Kion and Asakura have to get, used to the new Nagato because the old Nagato is nowhere here. So it's kind of like a thing of having to get used to her, trying to become friends with her, and because like she doesn't know anything about the other Nagato coming back ever, right? Like the new Nagato doesn't know anything about the old Nagato except for the fact she's asleep, right? And so this is what happens: is that over time, over the last couple episodes, she actually, like, the memories of the old Nagato actually start mixing in with her, because she has those memories, right? But they're not hers. That's the disconnection right there. Like, she knows the memories are there, but they're not hers because it's the other Nagato's, because it's the new Nagato. But the memories actually start messing with her, and she starts falling in love with Kion, right? This Nagato starts falling in love with Kion, and they start doing stuff, right? And then Asakura starts teasing the new Nagato about how she likes, Kion. And she's like, no, that's not me, that's not my memories, and blah, 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 blah. But she actually fell in love with him. And, like, oh my gosh, that scene was so sad. I hated it so much. I mean, not that, like, it was the worst thing ever, but, like, I hate how it made me feel. Because, for the most part, I'm not a person that likes to cry or feel, like, a lot of emotion when it comes to real life. When it comes to anime, they always hit me hard. Hit me, like, super hard. Always destroy me. And this scene in particular was really, really tough. Because what ends up happening is that the new Nagato is actually going to fade away. Because the old Nagato is starting to wake up inside her psyche, inside her conscience and all that stuff. And the memories are really flooding back. And what ends up happening is that she's at the library. She's reading a book. Blah, blah, blah. She finishes it. And she goes to a park bench. And she's going to go away. And she calls Kion. Right? She calls Kion saying that, all this other stuff, starts talking about how, it's been fun, all this other shit. And she confesses to Kion. Like, she flat out confesses her love for Kion. But Kion doesn't have a chance to respond because she goes away. Like, he actually, like, rushes to her. Like, he gets on his bike and she starts booking it. And, like, she ends up saying that, when he sees her again, it's not going to be her, it's going to be the other Nagato. And, oh my gosh, it was so emotional, and I actually cried. Because, like, she pretty much died. Like, realistically speaking, she died. And the worst part is that she actually felt like a character after that point. And she even talked about how she didn't want to disappear. Like, she became a character, and she died right there. And it was just so sad. And then, like, when she goes back into her consciousness, she kind of tells the other Nagato that she had the guts to confess to Kion. Now it's her turn and all this stuff. And now, from there, like, the last 2 episodes or so, if I remember correctly, Kion is now distanced from the old Nagato now. Because the new Nagato, I'm sorry, this is confusing, I know. Trust me, like I said, there's a little bit of sci-fi, and this is where the sci-fi comes in. I'm sorry if it's confusing, it's fine. The new Nagato confesses her love for him, but he didn't have a chance to respond. Now, he was falling in love with the first Nagato, and then he actually was doing the same thing with the new Nagato, and then the new Nagato confessed to him, but he didn't have time to confess to her because, she dies, and then so now the old Nagato is confused because she still loves Kion, but now Kion is distant with her without, like, her understanding why, because even though because she doesn't remember that because The new Nagato actually told her that she was gonna forget everything that happened in the freaking mind warp shit. I'm sorry, it's really confusing. I apologize. But then what ends up happening, and this is I think the worst part about this whole show is the finale, because what ends up happening is that they do that stupid generic crap that happens in a lot of these romance shows, where it's a fireworks show, and the male character, or in some cases the female character, confesses their love to the other character, but the other character doesn't hear shit because the fireworks are going off. It pisses me off because then they just brush it off. And Kyo did that same bullshit here. Because what ends up happening is that, like, he finally gets the guts to tell her, right, after everybody's pushing him, you know, they're in the festival and all that shit, and he literally grabs her and drags her across the festival into this, like, open, emptied area. Like, there's nothing festival going on around. And then the fireworks start, and then he confesses everything about, you know, the other Nagato confessing to him, and how he feels, and all this other stuff, and blah, 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 blah. And like, she doesn't hear shit, and then she asks him to repeat it, but then he's like, nope, because I got that off my chest, and I wanted to smack this man. I was like, you can't give me an ending like this. And that's literally where the show ends, because they just go back. Go from there. Like, and I'm pretty sure, I know for a fact that there's more in terms of manga. I want those novels, because this is bullshit. I refuse to have that be my ending. If those two don't end up together, I'm going to be upset. I'm actually upset just from that ending alone, because I hate it. I actually hate it when they do that stuff. It really ruins the build-up you've had up to this point. Like, what's the point of making a romance show if your characters don't end up together by the end of it? Seriously, who the fuck thinks of this stuff? Oh my gosh! Alright, in conclusion, I love this show. I do. I love this show to death. The finale did bother me a lot, and it's definitely the worst part about this whole show. I don't remember, I mean, because Haruhi had the movie, so I don't really know how you would judge that whole thing, because the movie is actually part of the show. Anyways, but I still can't decide which of the two I like more. I do kind of feel like sometimes the ending of Nagato kind of ruins the whole experience of the first one, of the whole show. But like, it's just, I don't know, like, I feel like it does. So like, in that case, I would put Haruhi over it, but then because it's so much sci-fi element in there, some of the characters aren't really great and fleshed out correctly. And then, obviously, some characters don't even make it to the end. So I don't really know, because I loved the characters in this one. I really did. Like, I love the fact that everybody had a chance to shine in some way, shape, or form. Even if they were just, except for Koizumi. That's never gonna go away. I hate that man in this one. I was okay with him in the last one. This one, he could just go fucking himself. I'm serious. Gosh. Alright, anyways, but I do recommend you finish it all the way through. Even though that finale is complete garbage, and I'm being serious, it is actually complete garbage, I do think you should watch it all the way through. Like, straight up. Even though that finale is not, at least for me, I don't think it's a good way to handle it. But, you know, obviously my opinions are always stupid, so you can take it as you want. But yeah, definitely, like, finish it all the way through. Watch it completely. Finish it completely. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. I've been SoresanCrockxen, and I will see you guys in future videos.